Hey, beautiful people. Welcome. You are on the scene. I'm your girl, Racheal J. Yeah, I'm back. Y'all know y'all can't get enough of me, okay? And I'm here with the dynamic duo, sister and brother. Okay, I got some sisters and brothers up in here. We got Cara.
All right. Hello.
Denise Thomas.
Yes.
Dennis Thomas.
My middle name is Denise.
Oh.
So it's fine.
Hey!
You got it.
What? I got it wrong, but I got it right.
That's awesome.
And we have the marvelous Harold Dennis up in the building. Thank you guys for coming and chatting with us on the scene. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes. So we're gonna dig into their little lives right quick. Now we're not gonna get too personal, but they're both entertainers. We have Harold, who's been doing this. Oh my gosh, hold on. How much time y'all got? Okay, because that's how long it's been. With over 150 film credits to his name, he's been in the business over 18 years, and he just recently added to his belt buckle of achievements. He's also teaching on camera, at Second City. So, well, if you don't know what Second City is, then baby, you need to Google it and figure it out. Okay? You can't be in Chicago and not know what Second City is, okay? Okay, let me calm down. Whew, yes, so I'm very, honored to have these siblings here with me. I'm the oldest of 6. So I know how it is, to be. I know what that sibling love looks like, and they got a lot of love and a lot of her too, with some good her. So to start things off, I know I myself, I'm in the industry, with this show, also acting. I do some singing and some improv, and I'm a mother as well. So, whenever I have the opportunity to talk with people who've been in this industry for a long time, like Harold, how do you balance it all out? Because you do a lot. You may not have some of the things going that other people have. You don't have children, do you?
They're grown.
They're grown, okay. So they're grown, so, I know there's definitely still responsibility there, but it's not so hands-on. So how have you been able to just balance out, your life and career and just maintain it for all these years?
Well, I was talking to my sisters in the car earlier today, and we were talking about, I was telling them that there's some ups and some downs. Some ups and some downs, And that's just the way it goes, when you dedicate yourself to something that's elusive, And what we're doing is very elusive. So, I tell people, if you got to get a full-time job, go do that.
Right.
And fit it in until the potential possibility of things changing, then things will change. I focused on this so hard. It's been 20 years. I've been focusing. And the things that I focused on just trickled in, and now I have overflow of things happening. It's just like a landslide has occurred. And so, but it's because I sacrificed. I gave up those things that other people wouldn't. I've been to the valley,
I've been through the valley. Yeah. Yes. Sacrifice is huge, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. Just the little small things like getting your nails done, getting your hair done.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that you have to, let me figure out how to do these things myself so I can save that money, because that, $40, $50 can go in the pot of, this is an acting class, or this is gas, or this is Chicago, so there's always parking fees, for the love of God.
And it didn't used to always be that way.
OMG. So let's chat with the beautiful Miss Cara, because this is your brother.
Yes.
Who's been doing this for 20 plus years at this point. But you just really got started yourself.
Started last year.
So this, wow, congratulations.
I'm so excited.
Welcome to the family.
Yeah.
So you just got started, and it looks like you're off to a good start. Your first play was
A Streetcar Named Desire.
Yeah.
That was in January of last year.
Oh my goodness.
February.
And I went to go see it too.
Did you?
We were Skyping. I was coaching her over Skype.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she was obedient and did the things that I told her. So when I went to see it, I was like, oh.
Harold,
Oh,
was really good. He's a really good coach. He's tough though.
Yes.
He's really tough. I mean, I really have to have tough skin when I work with Harold because he will.
Right. It's
let me have
interesting.
it.
Yes.
But I grew up with him, so I'm used to it. You know? I already know who he is and how he is. So it's like swallow your pride. Keep your mouth shut. No excuses.
No excuses.
Right.
And just go with it. You know, there were several times I had to say, okay.
Numb your whole day.
This is to help you only. So yeah. So he's really good. So he's been very helpful, you know.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, I think we may be related. Do I have any Dennises in my family? You know. Can I get that sister card? I think I'm your sister too. Okay. It's like your built-in coach. Because Harold, he coaches.
Yes,
he does. Whether it's branding, whether it's marketing, just the whole. Because we're more than just actors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the thing that we love to do the most, which is act, we tend to do the least. You know, everything else is involved, whether it's classes, whether it's branding, whether it's, you know, getting your things together. When you hit that stage is when you act.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right,
so you do that the least amount of time.
Yeah. The work behind it is so deep.
Yes. Yeah. So tell us about your transition, you know, and how did what were you doing before you just really are you doing this still more of a hobby?
No, it's not a hobby. I really enjoy it. I would love to do this full time. However, I have bills to pay.
Amen.
So I am one who have that 8 to 5.
Yes, absolutely.
To pay my bills, and it'd be great if one day this opened up and I could just say goodbye to the 9 to 5 and do this full time. But I'm working on it.
And I'm sorry for interrupting because you were talking about that first play and how you found it, you know, that type of thing, you know, that transition.
Yes.
So that's what she was leading to.
Yes.
And getting in there. Still got to 95, but how she decided to go and just dive in.
Right. What made you say, okay, now, because he's been doing it forever, so you know that this world exists.
Yes.
So what made you say, okay, now I want to do this?
So Harold's always made home movies with us, like every
we're gonna do something tonight, right? We're gonna get together and do something.
I always make 99 films on the wall production, so we always do something as a family and make a movie
over the holidays.
Years back.
Yes.
But he's always encouraged us to take acting classes and get into acting. So when I was at the University of Washington, I took acting classes. I took a few acting classes.
That's awesome.
But it was just to appease Harold.
Get him off my back.
But you know, growing up in Chicago, it's so cultural and so that was instilled in me very early. But I've always volunteered at theaters and such too.
So you stayed close to it, even though you weren't directly in it. You still kept it a part of it in your life.
Yes. So I was volunteering in front of the house at Red Curtain Foundation of the Arts in Marysville, Washington, and they were doing a streetcar. And they wanted non-traditional actors. You know, let's try something. You know, let's mix it up a little bit. And I was watching just before that. I was watching a video with Shonda Rhimes. I think it was on YouTube. It was when she was in her season of Yes and saying yes to things that are daunting.
Yes.
Oh yes. I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to say yes to things that are daunting to me. So I went skydiving with my daughter, and it was so fun, and it was not scary at all. I was like just so excited. And so I was volunteering, and the volunteer coordinator, Catherine at the time, and she said, are you going to audition for Streetcar? And I was like, I never thought about auditioning for Streetcar, but I don't know. I'll think about it.
Oh my goodness.
And then the following week I was volunteering, and her husband, he asked me, so are you going to audition for Streetcar? I was like, I think I might do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. And then I guess he passed it on to the person who was directing, who was the president of ASAC. So, Cara, I understand you're wanting to audition for Streetcar.
That's 3. They come in 3s. Boom.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to get you all signed up, get you a slot for the audition. And my aunt, she was an actress on Broadway and overseas and such. And she did this one-woman show. It's called Desiree. And my dad died back in 2005.
11.
15.
Sorry to hear
12. 2012.
We did the
2012.
we did the thing in the water in 12. It was 11.
2011. So my aunt, Marion Roll, she gave me the play though or the script for Desiree.
I was telling them to give it to me.
So I had it.
Carol, like, give me that.
So I decided, I said, well, let me see if I can find something in here to use as a monologue. And I went through and I said, oh, I think this is good enough, and I think this relays a story right here, and I think it's good enough.
Yeah.
So, and I called Harold.
Oh, I was like, when did she call Harold? I was waiting for that moment.
I called Harold.
That's why she hijacked this script. Right. Just to be here today.
Yes, yes.
So I called Harold and I said, Harold, I told him I was going to audition, and he was all excited with me, and so he helped me with the script. He said, okay, go ahead, tell me what you're going to say. Well, go through it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went through it.
And that was our first.
Yeah, the very first.
Wow.
And so I went and I auditioned, and a couple of days later, I got an email. I was in the bathroom, I got the email, and I was jumping up and down.
You booked it! She booked it!
First time out. First time out.
First time out, baby! If
So
we could all be
that
so
was
lucky.
very exciting, and
The part was Eunice.
Eunice Hubble,
Eunice Hubble.
because it was my very first time, and I'd never had to learn lines before, so I was like, I want something light,
Right.
relatively light, I
Yes.
guess, because Eunice. I watched the movie and I said, okay, no, she doesn't really have that many lines.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I went to the table, I was like, oh dang, she got a lot of lines.
Right, okay? This is a different version of that stuff.
Yes. But then I would watch YouTube videos of it, the play, and I said, I had read it and I did some research on it, and I said, no, Eunice Hubble has power.
Right.
They're not giving her the power that she has.
Right, right.
So I wanted to make sure that Eunice had power because, hey, she owns the place. You know,
Yes,
who are you guys? I'm the
absolutely,
landlord,
absolutely.
you know.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And you know what, and to segue off of that, you know, and I want you to chime in here, you know, what advice do you give? Because a lot of times people will go, you know, I know if I'm doing something that's popular, I stay away from anything associated with it because I don't want anyone else's version of that. I understand why you did it, you know, but I've learned, you know, I was like, let me create my own version of this character. So what is your advice as far as going and looking up the different plays or the different versions, or watching the movie of the film you're going to do or the play you're going to do? You know, what advice do you give? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Do you kind of stray away from that? You're like, just build it yourself because you don't want to, you know, have someone else in your head when you're trying to create this character. You know, how do you feel?
And that totally depends on the individual, and it's a quick way to get an idea. Looking at it though, is a quick way to get an idea who the character is. So you know, it's different strokes for different folks. Back in 2001, I did a Raisin in the Sun at Actors Theater in Louisville, and I was like, a Raisin in the Sun. I never watched it, so I had to watch. Back in 2001, I had to watch the movie to see what it was about. So,
Right.
So that going into the show, I can understand. And so I initially went in there for George Murchison, you know, the guy from Lakeshore Drive with the little bit role, you know, a couple of times he pops up. But then I got to the audition, it was like, okay, I look younger and handsomer than the guy that played Oscar guy. So it says, do you have an African accent? I was like, yes.
Yes.
And it says, okay, good, breathe. And they put the book in my face, and that was the first time ever I had to do this, and it was other actors there. And so what happened was, I did watch the movie, but you know, it didn't help me because I wasn't focusing on that. I just wanted to know what the story's about.
Okay.
But then what was happening during the rehearsal time, the other actor, he was doing the part, and I could hear him doing his accent, and as a chameleon, I just picked it up. I put the book in my face because I was embarrassed. Didn't know how it was gonna come out. I was like, "Oh, big gay day, oh God, you wear it well, beautiful hair and all." And I read the whole page in the novel, and he said, "Okay, the part's yours."
Wow.
So I went home for the next 3 weeks and developed Oscar guy.
Wow.
Yeah, so you know, different strokes, different.
So it just
folks.
depends on the situation.
And I generally, my 5 Easy Pieces monologue that I've been working for 10 years, 14 years I've had it. And that's Jack Nicholson, 5 Easy Pieces. He won an Oscar for the role. I've heard about it. But for 12 years I didn't watch the movie. I developed, and finally I was like, let me see what he did. and he won an Oscar for it because Ted Toronto's my teacher. I've been studying with for 14 years. He tells a story about how Jack says, I don't want to cry. I won't cry.
Right.
So the director says, we're going to get everybody off set. It's just going to turn the camera on. I'm leaving. Go ahead and do it. Cry.
Right.
So supposedly that's the behind the scenes story. And I looked it up, I was like, it's cool.
Right.
But I like the way I do it.
Yeah.
Because I never was influenced by his
Yeah,
performance. Yeah.
Right.
That's how I was. Even the ones that I watched, I didn't like the way they did it. I did try one thing
Mm-hmm.
that I saw someone do, and for me, it didn't feel like it worked.
It didn't feel right.
So I
Mhm.
tried it one time, and I said, okay, I won't do that again. It didn't work for me. But
Yeah.
I know, I just wanted to give her power. I wanted my
Yeah.
all of my characters that I've done, except for when I was Snow, I wanted them to have power.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah, that's what I focused on, to give them the power that they have.
That's
And
awesome.
then there's another opportunity. I got the the training day monologue with Denzel. What now? Huh? What are you gonna do? You gonna shoot me? Well, I've seen the
Yeah.
movie. Was writing the lines down, watching the movie.
Right.
Before going online, I was rewinding, writing the words down. This is back
Yes.
in 2002, early '02, spring '02.
Mhm.
And so I watched it 100 times. But still, I'll still do the training day monologue today. It's not Denzel. It's me, my version. Not doing Denzel. It's Harold. What now? Huh? What you gonna do? You gonna shoot
Right.
me? You gonna bust your cherry killing a cop? Hit me. Give me right there, Jake.
Hit me with it.
Hit me.
Hit me. So what do you, as far as branding and finding a monologue? Okay, say I'm just now getting into this. I need a dramatic monologue. I need a comedic monologue. Where do I start? Do I look at kind of my branding and then kind of go from there, or what steps do I take to find that piece that really suits me?
Some people don't know who they are, as far as,
It's true.
And then, I generally direct people to the whitesanity.net and find you a movie monologue. But then, in the theater, don't find a movie monologue because they're looking at you as the actor. You hear that? I'm like, yeah, I've heard it from the tops and the bottoms and everybody. But
Right.
then, they say, don't do Raisin in the Sun or all these other movies because they've been done hundreds of times and the directors are like, here we go again.
Right.
Who's right and who's wrong?
Right.
Just find something that suits you. So what I usually tell people to do is, go ahead, find your movie monologue and let me hear you read it. You don't have to act, just let me hear it come out of your mouth. Does that fit them? No. Find 3 of them, let's read them. Oh, that one sounds good. Let's work that one.
Right.
It's all a feeling thing, listen to somebody read it and say, that sounds like that could be coming from you.
So when did you decide you wanted to just use the knowledge you've learned to coach and mentor? When did you decide to do that?
The very first time I found myself coaching that I can remember was back in 2004. I'd been studying with this guy, Ted Toronto, for 14 and a half years. Every Wednesday afternoon I'm in class. It was May 04. I started with him January 04. By May 04, he had just told me that Wednesday that, okay, you've been working on your training day monologue now for the last 3 months. You're ready to record for my Channel 19 show. I was like, I'm done. I'm good enough. He says, yeah, we never recorded it, but he told me that piece of advice. And then that weekend, I found myself in line for Robert Townsend in Maywood somewhere. This cattle call line with 104 or 5 people. I was out there for 11 hours in line.
What?
Just messing around, talking to people. I remember one young guy from Second City was there. He had been taking classes at Second City, and he was like, I'm talking all this stuff, and he says, can you work with me and show me something that you're talking about? Because they took us in the rooms and droves of 25 or like that. And so I worked with him, it was a big warehouse, so I took him way over somewhere. I said, okay, let me see. Okay, loud and fast. Okay, loud and fast. Now, think about this. What do you want this person to do in 10 dreams? And opposites, all this stuff. And so he did, and what he did was he found himself being committed to delivering. And so what happened, he went in the room, I didn't see it. His sister that was with him came back out and says, I don't know what you told him, but I've never seen him do it that good ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
You unlocked
That
something.
was 04. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was 14 years ago.
Wow.
So I found myself thinking, oh, maybe I can do this. So I just worked with people individually. And then I did the Bronzeville Film Festival workshop, I don't know how many years ago that was. then I did the United Nations Chicago Chapter Film Festival the next year, and then the year after that. And I says, why don't I do my own? So I do workshops.
Yes.
2 or 3 a year. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And then oh, go ahead.
No, I was Cara. You know, I was saying, you know, she started that first play back then, but she's on her 4th play already.
Right. I was about to ask her. What have we been doing since then?
This February, I went to go see her in a play. I went last year to see her first one. Then I went this year.
Yes.
And both times, you know, I got there the closing weekend, and it was like I saw the Friday show, the Saturday show, and the Sunday show. Yeah. So this past February, it was February, right?
Yes.
I went to see the last weekend, and so I'm sitting there and watching that Friday night, and we had Skyped and worked, and I let it go and hadn't heard anything. Did the show, and then so I'm there. So I watched the first night, and so it was great. And then so after that, though, I says, okay, tomorrow you should do this, this, and this. And then so she did it. She did it the next night, and I'm like, okay, cool, but she didn't do this one, and blah blah blah. And so Sunday, I was like, Sunday on the way to the play, the matinee show, I was like, okay, you was great those 2 nights, because both nights I had a little tear right here, you know, just a little tear.
Made him cry.
In one scene,
it
wasn't a full-fledged thing, but right there, when she was pacing in the bedroom with the girlfriend, you know, having a conversation, I was like,
that's so funny.
Because she gets upset, and her upsetness, you know, was like, oh. And so Sunday, going to the matinee, I says, okay, you need to do this, 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 and this. And those are different things throughout the play that I saw, okay, this will be tighter if you do this.
Right.
And because she's got 5 monologues out to the audience on 5 different occasions, and being inside the scenes.
Right.
And it's a 4-person ensemble play. So she had she was the lead, had the majority of the lines. And this is
Cara.
This is a theater. This is a theater house she's working with. Red Curtain. You know, it's in Marysville. It's like a huge thing. You know, they build sets, and they got the house. They got a home.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's beautiful. I was like, wow. And this is what she's working with.
Yeah.
And they keep casting her, and she keeps working. You know. And so anyway, that Sunday, she did this, and this 5th thing where she had to talk this on the last monologue out to the audience, where she's upset because her girlfriend isn't in the audience, but she still has to talk to these people because but she discovered, and so she thinks she's somewhere else doing something she ain't supposed to be doing. And so she delivers, and she's still talking to the audience, but she's working up this upsetness, she's playing the opposites, intending dream scene, and loses it, and it goes up, and I started crying.
Oh my God, the tear just...
There was a flood. I was like, oh my God. Shield right now. I was like, oh.
So it was Body Awareness by Annie Baker. And,
oh my goodness.
And here's the thing. The director was telling me these things to do. However, I think the way he was, I understood what he was saying. Yeah. But the way Harold explained it to me, it made me like, wait a minute, I can't have this happening. So so it helped me. I think it gave me a different perspective. Right. I mean, the director was telling me this all along, but I think he was telling me this in a different light. But then when Harold shined a different light on it, was like, wait a minute now, wait a minute, I can't let this happen.
You're not beating out the bush, you like, look.
Yeah, pretty much like that.
Well, what's funny is I was working this event last night where they were honoring Ethan Hawke. He was there, and Vincent D'Onofrio, you know, from Full Metal Jacket, Pyle, he was there, and the 2 of them was walking there at the same time, and it looked like he wanted to shake my hand, but I was reached for Vincent because he got there first. I was like, Full Metal Jacket. He's like, caught him off guard with that one, because that's the movie we watched at the same time. I twisted my cap back. But anyway, so they were doing a talk while they honored I just named both guys.
Oh, Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke. This honored Ethan Hawke. Gave him a Renaissance Man Award, the School of the Arts, Gene Siskel. And so anyway, so they were talking, and I lost my thought going through all of that. But we were just talking. Oh, beating around the bush. Vincent was telling the story about how this famous director, was talking. Had this famous actor, but the famous actor was taking too long to say his lines, and so he says, and the table read in the rehearsal or something after that, he'd go to the actor next to him who's in the scene with him, who's not this star. He says, you need to pick up your lines like he is. He doesn't hesitate with his lines. And even when he did hesitate those 4 times, he picked them up and you got to pick up your lines. So the next day he came to the line.
Right, he was on it.
Without indirectly talking to her,
Yes.
So, maybe it's effective, But I'm just saying, I wouldn't be around
He was telling me what I was doing
right.
that I could have improved on. But the way Harold told me about it, he's like,
wait a minute. Wait a minute, hold on. Yes. So you done, is it 4 plays so far?
Yeah, so far.
And you're in one now,
Yeah, I'm in one now. I just got cast.
Rocking and
this
rolling.
one, I actually have 3 roles, which is
really?
Yeah. It's challenging.
Klingon Shakespeare or something.
Yeah.
Klingon Star Trek Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Klingon.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
Macbeth in a Klingon setting. So.
Yeah. So
I'm excited about it.
I am too.
I've been primarily working with Red Curtain, and they've just been fostering my growth and helping me with all of this. Harold's been coaching me, and I just feel like I'm getting better.
Yes.
I mean, I have a lot of lines to learn again, but it comes.
Yes.
It comes with practice.
You were born to do this, boo.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting. And it's fun.
Yeah.
It's work. It's so fun.
Yes. So are we gonna be? Are you gonna try to transition over into film eventually? Have you thought about it? Like, okay, I'm tackling this theater thing. Do I want to? Of course, you got your great coach and mentor here, who's an expert in all of that.
I have not looked into that yet, but I'm on this page on Facebook, the Seattle Film page group, and they do have offer these roles, but I think the location that they are makes it very difficult for me because of where I am located. I plan to move closer to Seattle so I can have more opportunities.
Oh, nice.
Like right north. I'm sorry, move to Seattle actually.
Right.
In the next few months or so I can have more opportunities. But once that gets going, then I plan on moving forward. So.
That is so awesome.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Oh my
Whatever
goodness.
happens, I'm open to it because I'm still saying yes.
Beautiful part. Yes. Oh my gosh. Like darn Shonda Rhimes. Yes. Yes, I don't do this. Yes. That's kind of how it is. And you unlock your purpose.
Yeah.
Because who wants to be 90 and be like, even though you can start at 90 if you wanted to, but who wants to be 90 and be like, man,
where's the beef?
You know what I mean? If only I had said yes.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
So I'm proud of you because it takes so much. It takes a lot of fearlessness. You can be scared, I don't know what, but it takes a lot of courage.
Yeah.
And then is just to have this direct connection right here.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know we're related.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
With,
Look.
We have some similarities.
Right.
Similarity features.
I'm okay with I get very nervous, but I try to transform that nervousness into energy and go out and just get that energy.
Yes.
But when Harold came to my show the first night, I found myself hiccuping a little bit.
Right. I was like, what was that like having you?
Why am I nervous? Did you notice that?
No.
See?
Oh,
what was happening?
Yes.
With it internally, I felt like I was hiccuping more. It's like, why isn't this running so smoothly? Because this one over here had me so nervous.
Oh my goodness.
I couldn't transfer the nervousness into energy. I mean, I had energy, but that nervousness was still there because of this one here. Just like I was a substitute teacher one time, and I had to teach my youngest son. My oldest son, that was fine. I didn't have a problem. But when I had that class with that youngest son, like, why am I so nervous?
Right.
Why am I so nervous?
Yes.
But I got through it.
The only time I get nervous is when I know I didn't do my homework. I didn't prepare. That's
when
the
you're
only
scrambling
time.
a little bit.
Yeah, when I'm not ready. That's when I get nervous.
No,
So I do my best. I'm not talking about you.
Yeah, okay.
I do my. I'm serious. That's what I was telling my students over at the Second City, because we got this. I teach acting on camera, so I'm giving them the 11 students, the on-camera experience. So we're filming. First 6 weeks, I got them doing monologues, then we did 2-person scenes. Now I got this 13-page script that we're shooting. And so we shot 8 pages in 3 hours. And I'm talking about extreme close-ups, 2-person shots, over the shoulder, wide shot. You know, so we were getting them in. And then there was hiccups, like the SD card was full. I'm like, I said, you brought it at full SD. Download that. I'm gonna start shooting while you go get the computer set up. You know, so it's like I have a TA too. So he's a one-man wrecking crew, and he's over at the Harold Dennis Film School. So you know he's learning. It's his first year making films, and so but the students are loving it, and we're all getting this great experience from it.
Yes.
And so we shot 8 pages in 3 days. Next week we shoot 5 pages, finishing it up, and while the TA's editing this week, and he'll edit that next week. The 8th week, we're just going to sit back and watch it 3 or 4 times and just talk. Yes. Yeah, so it's a beautiful thing. And I signed up for the next term to do the same thing.
Yes, I was going to, let everyone know how they can, just some details about the class, what it offers, how they can connect with the class and when the next session starts, if you have those dates.
Right now I'm teaching once a week, which is plenty for me. I was on Wednesday evening. 7 to 10 acting on camera. So if you're looking it up, that acting on camera Wednesday evening slot, 7 to 10, that's me. They don't put names to dates because it's so sporadic and there's so many classes being taught. And then I take classes over there. I'm not paying anything. I'm taking class. I'm like, this is awesome, because I was just thinking to myself, just a couple of years ago, I was working with this guy that was a teacher there, and he moved to Canada. We were on film. And just talking about working in Second City. I was like, I'd love to take classes there, so I'm trying to work it out. How can I get classes?
Right.
Bam, it popped up.
Yes. Opportunity. Yes.
My buddy asked me back in 1998, we were sitting around, we had this acting troupe. He says, HD, what is it that you want to do? I says, I want to be in people's movies. So now I've been in more people's movies than anybody else that I know that's in the Midwest that ain't Hollywood. So this is how we go. Thoughts are things to put it out there, projection, and believe, that's what's going on. Denny Dream Scene. What do I want to happen? What do I want to happen? So I don't just act on film. I incorporate these things that I've learned, these tools from Ted Sarantos, and go out and do them during the day. Projection, intention, even these motivational things, they talk about intention, intending, moment to moment. What do you want to happen before you walk into that room? What do you want? And by doing it now, you do it when you read the script. Right now, so I have so much of an arsenal. I did the Meisner, levels 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 over the green shirt. Same with Ted Sarantos for
That's
14
green shirt
years.
again, yes.
Green shirt. 14 years. Shout out to Andrew and Summer over there at Green Shirt. They gave me those 15 months were very powerful. I loved it, because they kept me on my toes. I was nervous. Kept me on my toes. I had to come to class creating. So I was like, I didn't do my homework. So as I'm walking over there after getting off the Brown Line train, walking the block and a half to class, 2 blocks, I'm picking up leaves and grab the red-eye newspapers. So I've got to create some twigs, because I got to go in there and create, And I'd do a phenomenal job, because the pressure was on, and the creative juices opened up. So Green Shirt was good. 14 years with Ted Sarantos, 2 years over at ETA. I studied over there when I first started, in the acting troupe. I was with them 98, 99, a whole year. We met every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Because Kenny says that if we meet on Saturdays, the people come Saturday when things could be happening, they're serious. So we started off serious. 2 years at beginning advanced over at ETA, the acting troupe, and then I got involved in the blues play in 98, ran it for almost 2 years, 171 shows. All of this when I first started, because I was like, this is what I'm going to do the rest of my life. I might as well dive in.
Right.
And so 20 years later, I'm rolling.
Wow, that's
commitment.
Beautiful.
Commitment.
Yes. So if you can give advice to just to the beginning actor, the person who's saying, okay, you know what, I've always wanted to do this. How do I start? What are just some tips you can give them just on getting, because people it's so confusing.
How to find your way type of thing.
Yes.
Because, when I was 19, people used to say, you should be a model. Not that I was tall, but I was.
Hey.
Right. And so anyway, I was thinking to myself, but how?
Right.
How?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer never got answered, and I never did anything. And then, like I said, I saw my high school band teacher, and I was like, wait a minute, it's not impossible. He's doing it. He doesn't live on the coast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was in Soul Food, Fugitive,
Mm-hmm.
Hoodlum, Groundhog Day.
Right.
And so, seeing him, I was like, I can do this. And so, what happened was I heard an announcement on the radio, be an extra in the movies. So I started off doing extra work.
Mm-hmm.
Early edition, first time out I was featured. And so I was like, okay, this is how it's done. Because I was looking at I was like, they're doing all of this filming in Chicago?
So explain, you know, if someone's watching you, explain what extra work, what background work is, you know, to the person who may not be like, what is that?
Background work is being in the background, being seen but not heard, and maybe not being seen and not heard. Your job is to be that tree stump that the movie stars walk past, you know, without trying to be like, hey, hello, get off my set, you know.
Yes.
And don't start when they give you the direction to walk past the camera. Don't be like walking slow. Get on past the camera. So I did that. I was like, and I started saying to myself, I want some speaking lines.
Oh my God.
Then my buddy Kenny was like, why don't you take a class? So take a class, people.
Yeah.
Take a class.
Jump into class.
Because what happens is you meet other people, excited people just like you.
Yes.
You meet them. And what happens is y'all start talking.
Mm-hmm.
You find film screenings to go to.
Yeah.
You get your business card with your picture on it that says actor, actress,
Develop skills.
develop skills. Bam.
Look at that. Bam!
I need one of those.
So how important is networking in this business?
It's with social media and Facebook, you know, all of that stuff. It's excellent. I mean, you know, when they didn't have social media when I started, you know, and I used to always want to help people, so I email people. Here's an audition. Here's an audition. Here's an So yeah, you got Google. You know, your best friend is Google and YouTube. Ask the question, how do I get started acting? Google it. You know, so all of these things are at your fingertips. Facebook, you join the groups. There's a lot of acting groups everywhere. Join them. Then there's meetup.com for acting in your city. Join those meetup groups and go to the meetings. Screenwriters meetups. I've gone to screenwriters meetups. I went to one 3 weeks ago and got cast for meeting one of the ladies 2 weeks ago. And we shoot at the end of the month.
Wow.
All because I went to a meeting.
Being there, being
Showed
present,
up.
networking. Yes.
I volunteer film festivals for the last 10 years, the Midwest
Yes.
Film Festival,
Mm-hmm.
every month, and so many things have come out of that. The guy from RealChicago.com, Daniel, you know, he interviewed me at the Oscars event in February at the Gene Siskel Film Center because we know each other from there over the years, and he interviewed me yesterday at the Ethan Hawke thing, like, you know, like I was VIP, you know. And thank you. He's coming to my Second City class Wednesday to do a story on me and my class.
Wow.
And we set that up yesterday at the thing. So I go to the events, and
Yes.
then I was at the event yesterday, and there's a guy that writes for HollywoodChicago.com. He told me yesterday, because I was at the event, he says, Harold, congratulations on your success in Second City. I want to do an article on you.
Wow.
So, you know, and a guy,
Trickling down.
I went to a guy's birthday party who was a contributing writer 3 weeks ago for a Hollywood Weekly magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I'm going to incorporate you in the article. He moves around and writes all over the country about things that interest him. He says, I'm going to come to your class. So 2 weeks ago, he came to my class and brought another actress. And he said, I'll just stay for an hour or something, you know, before he got there, because it's a 3-hour class.
Mm-hmm.
He came for the 3 hours. He came for the hour. And I says, okay, you can go now. He says, no, I'm staying.
No, I'm good.
And the class was over at 10. We didn't get out of there until 11.
Woo!
11 p.m.
Cause you the mom.
the class is exciting, man. It's a great thing.
So y'all definitely better go into the secondcity.com.
Yeah. And then, you know, I do my own workshops, which I've been doing for a few years. And those are very powerful. People like my workshops because they walk away with something that's elusive if you don't use it. But while you're in it, you're like, wow. And the benefit is watching the person on stage do the work, because the person on stage really can't see what they're doing, because it's all about affecting other people. You want to touch. I teach you to touch other people, not be like, look at me, I'm an actor. Touch other people. You know, that's one of my goals too. I want to be in other people's movies, and I want to touch people. Those are things I said 20 years ago. And so over the years, I've got the answers. And so I teach people how to touch people, and so the people in the audience are the ones that see it because they can feel it. And that's what I'm working with.
For instance, we were just in the, who was we?
Second City. Yeah,
Second
just
City.
over there before we came
And
over.
I was going to this monologue that I'm going to have to deliver in this play. And anyone can be angry.
Right.
Don't deliver it angrily. But the way he coached me to deliver it, my sister was like, oh no, that's so much more effective. Like, I can really feel it more.
When you get started.
Don't. Now, I am like, I'm ready. I'm not ready, but yes. Yeah, and just going back to the networking part.
Right.
My acting instructor when I was at the university, he was, I'm Instagram friends with him and now Facebook friends. He does this, he has this Acropolis performance lab, and they do quarterly readings of a play, and then they have this deep discussion about it. So he contacted me and asked me if I would read for him. I was like, really? Oh my God! Harold, guess what? Yes. and he gave me this. He sent me the script, and I did it, and it was so effective, and it was so deep. And he afterwards he emailed me back and told me how great it was and how touching it was. So it's like, I don't even, did we even work on that together?
You did it all by yourself.
Look at you.
Just from his coaching.
Okay.
So I don't need him for everything, but his instructions, I
Great
take
reminder.
those and I do use it, you know, I
Right.
incorporate it in whatever I have to do. So yeah,
Oh my
yeah. So
gosh.
networking. I'm not heavily into this yet because it's still very new to me.
Right.
But I am still reaching out. I've done a general audition, and I got an audition from it. I didn't get the
Two of them.
role. One audition, and then the other one was, do you sing? No, not yet. So now I have to learn how to sing, okay? So I can learn how to sing.
Yes.
Because I really do want to be able to just fulfill whatever becomes available. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if a musical is something that's available, and it's something that an opportunity for me, I want to be able to jump in and do that. So I'm trying to learn how to sing. Not there yet, but
It'll come.
yeah. And then I have these 3 rows, so like 3 rows.
Yes,
So,
that's huge.
Yeah, it's just through networking, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I actually auditioned for a different role. I didn't get it, but it was okay because instead of 1 role, I got 3.
3. I wouldn't complain. Wow. So just being where you are right now, what advice would you give if someone came up to you like, oh my gosh, I saw your play, I love you. They don't know your backdrop and how new you are to this. I love you so much, you know. How can I get started, or how do you do
the
this?
The same way I did. I started taking a workshop before I did anything. Yes. But it's very interesting. My daughter, she's a beautician, and one of her clients had come to one of the plays that I was in, and she said that it was it touched her so much that she's decided that she was taking class. So she started taking classes, and now she's interested.
Hold on, let me touch on
She
y'all.
wants
This
to
is
go.
Dennis blood. Hold on now.
Right here. And so she started taking classes, and
Oh my
so
gosh.
she's working on that also.
To inspire someone on the stage to where they actually want to go and do it themselves.
Yes.
That's huge.
Yeah, so that was interesting.
Kudos to you. Look at you.
Touch, move, and inspire.
Wow. Touch, Move, and Inspire.
Landmark.
Landmark. Yeah, so tell everyone how they can get in contact with you, you know, because he's coaching, mentorship, marketing, branding. What else do you do?
Networking.
Networking.
Yeah, the networking, the branding, and all that other stuff is all in the networking. And that, what is that? Getting out, shaking hands, passing out cards, getting people to join you on social media, and to keep up with you, you know, and to be interesting, you know, touch, move, and inspire. Inspire the crowd, you know. Some people will listen to you.
Okay, get a few ears.
Yeah, that's right.
And how can they get in contact with you?
Social media, 99 films on the wall across the board, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Harold Dennis, or 99 films on the wall.
With 2 9s, the number 9.
And IMDb, you know, just type my name in if you want to see what I'm talking about. My demo reel is on IMDb. I have a Google presence, so there's films you can see, articles, interviews, and YouTube.
YouTube, 99 films on you,
Or
or just your name?
Just type my name in, Harold Dennis.
Just type his name, type my name, be like, flirt.
Yes, like,
But I'm gonna get my Harold Dennis on, okay? I'm gonna get my Harold Dennis
you gotta
on.
get the dance.
Hey, get my Harold Dennis on. Get my Harold Dennis on. Yes, and you, Miss Cara, somebody could be watching this and be like, you know what? I think she'll be perfect for my film. How do you have, I know you have a social media page.
Just Facebook and Instagram. I'm not active on Twitter, although I do have a Twitter account. I'm not very active on that. I mean, who has time?
To do it all.
Twitter's just a
I
news
have to
feed,
make
right?
time, but
I mean,
yeah.
share some news.
Yeah.
But Instagram and Facebook are, you know, it's a good start. Those are two big things. So how do we get in contact with
So I'm
you?
Cara T on Instagram and Cara Dennis Thomas on Facebook.
Yes. And any last words for our audience?
Yes, my sister Marion is sitting right there.
Come on, Marion!
Come here, Marion.
Marion, come here with your beautiful self. Get on up in here. Come on, Marion. This is Marion. And you're from Seattle, Washington, right?
Yes.
Where are you from? Oh, come on in here, Marion.
Originally California,
Originally from California, but
Bay
now
Area.
I am in Atlanta.
Yes. And we might get her to start acting too.
Hey!
They're trying to rope me in.
It's a family affair.
Look.
It's a family.
Let's and if any of y'all, you know, got any stories about Harold that y'all want to give us right now, any embarrassing stories, she's like,
I'm sure I have some.
Tell them about the time
Can we get
tell
some
them about the
behind
time
the
you
scenes?
tell them about the time you body slammed me.
yes.
But you know, Harold and I, we used to, when we went to Mississippi for the summer to visit with my grandmother, my grandmother used to have this like sewing circle, or when she had her friends over, we used to have to perform. She used to call us in to perform this thing that we learned when we were very young. I had to put on my walking shoes. Remember, we had to come in. Come on.
So he's like, no, I don't remember.
Harold, come on.
Stop.
You yeah, she used to call us up to perform. Do you remember that song we learned when we lived on 8? I'm going to put on my walking shoes, go and tell her what a good news.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
She
Yeah.
used to have us come out and perform that in front of her friends.
See, we used to go to Mayfair Academy too, and we used to have to play piano, all of this other stuff when we were kids. And yeah, my grandmother wanted us to do stuff, and I remember my mother took us to a party. He was about 5 or 6 years old, and the little kid, it was his birthday party, so he was running around doing all this, and my mother looked at us and was like, dance! Dance! And all I could do was get up. That's what we did.
Okay.
You needed to.
Oh my goodness. Now the question is, have those dance moves improved?
Oh, tell them about
Harold
me.
dance.
Oh, what?
YouTube.
Hey.
Put in dancing machine. Dancing machine.
Oh my gosh! Yes. We need to Can we get a little smidget? A little.
I just gave it to you.
No. Hey!
But you know, I'm a little cooler now. It's like,
Look, he's smooth
Kappa,
with it.
Alpha Psi. Yes. Well, thank you guys for coming and
Thank
seeing
you
us
so
at On the
much.
Scene. We are so delighted just to have your beautiful presence here. You know, we have these siblings, and it's such a dynamic connection. You know, he's like, when I seen her first show, when I seen this show, and how you're so just in tune and connected with your sister. You're just like, okay, let me call and do this. Okay, let me call him. That's beautiful. Everybody doesn't have that. So and just watching you guys in general, you know, when I met up with you guys, it's a beautiful thing. And just know that you can get that same type of attention on a certain level. Don't be a bugaboo now. You know, you get that same type of attention, you know, because you ain't a sister like us. You know, on a coaching and mentoring level. So if you are struggling kind of to find your place and just on where to start, you know, look up Harold Dennis. You know, he's a great guy, a beautiful spirit, a talented person. You know, and if you do want to look into on-camera classes,
Skype.
you know what I'm saying? You can Skype,
That's
so
right.
you don't have to be local to Shot
That's
Town.
how we work.
That's
You know,
right.
that's how they,
Yeah.
and how did you like that? The Skype interview, was it?
Good.
Oh, very effective.
It's a fact.
Some people were like, "Oh my God, I
I've
gotta be in
I've
person."
worked
Oh.
with people over the phone.
Really?
Yeah.
But he just too good, ain't he? Just
Yeah,
cool.
that's that Ted
cool.
Toronto Studios training. I'm telling you.
Right,
Y'all need to get some of that
shout
because
out.
Ted is getting older.
So
He's
what
been
now? Where's
teaching
he?
for decades, and
Mhm.
he's in Oak Park, right there off Oak Park Avenue in the Green Line. I go out there religiously, you know, because I just go out there for a reminder. Some students from Missouri just did a documentary on it, you know,
Really?
and we watched it in class Wednesday. You know, it's a short. They're gonna put it in festivals around the place. They got me in there saying he's a master.
Is that how you said it?
They could have turned the volume down on it.
Right.
But no, real talk. That's who he is. He's the man. I mean, you know, I wouldn't have the skills that I have, these skills, had I not spent the 14 years with him. So
Wow.
the reason I was able to do 14 years is because I went to him and said, I can't afford you, but I can help you clean up around here.
There
He's
you
like,
go.
I don't need that. Then 10 months later, he called me, son, come to the showcase. So I took my kids. We went to the showcase 14 years ago, 15 years ago, when it was raining. We went to rain, pace bus from Calumet City to the red line, to the brown line, you know.
You got that.
Traveled.
Yeah.
And got there, and we sat there, and he's like, we were tired. He's like, okay, how'd you like it? I was like, it was great. I'm that same guy that told you I helped you clean up around here.
Yeah.
So anyway, these are my kids, you know, they were young. He said, I'm a good guy, blah, blah. And then because this is my first time trying that. Except I knew it was very possible because ETA, the first class I paid $300, and this Kuro said in '97, we need men in the advanced. There's no men in the advanced class. And somebody says, I don't have another $300. He says, don't worry about it. I was like, I'm there.
Like, yeah, me too, yeah.
Do it. Like, so I'm taking 2 classes right now. So if it's there, go get it.
Yes.
Go get it. And so anyway, to make a long story short, so Ted, by January '04, I was in this class, cleaning up around there, sweeping, washing the toilets, windows, some type of editing, whatever he needed me to do, hanging headshots. I've been doing that for 14 and a half years.
Wow.
And why would I leave? I get reminded every week, you know, so it's a part of me. Everything I get is
Yeah.
internal.
That's beautiful.
And I can share this, and that's what I've been sharing. That.
Yes.
You can go get it from him directly.
Yes. You paying it forward, and you said so many great things about just being humble, doing whatever it takes. You know, don't be so high on a pedestal where you say, okay, you know what, I'll mop, I'll clean up, I'll do this. What do you need me to do? I just need to get into this class because I can't afford it. You know, listen to these things. He's where he is today because he lived beyond, you know, just go ahead.
And that's what Vincent said about Ethan Hawke last night. He says, Ethan, and he says, Ethan's sitting right next to him. He says, Ethan knows he's the luckiest man in the world. Humble dude. He's a very humble dude. He knows that all of his nominated for Oscar 4 times, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
He knows he's lucky and blessed. That's how I feel. I'm lucky and blessed because I've been blessed to do the things that I've been doing for all these years and still capable and able. So that's why I'm like I am because I'm not. There's no need to be high on the hog. Why should I change?
Right.
You know,
Why? It's who
why?
you are.
Yeah, it's who I am.
Well, on that note, yeah, baby, you have heard it all on the scene. This is my family, y'all.
Yes, sis.
Racheal J. Dennis.
That's right. I owe you a workshop.
Yes, okay. Yay! Yay, so thank you
You
so
too,
much.
Marvin. I owe you a workshop.
You are on the scene. I'm your girl, Racheal J. We're here with Harold Dennis, Cara Dennis Thomas.
All right.
What's
And
his
Marion.
And Marion
Blaylock.
Blaylock.
All right.
Catch you later. Mwah.